What is going on, guys? Winter Kills here. We are back yet again with another first place locals deck profile, and I'm here with my man John. And he was playing what deck today?
Shanwu Turbo.
Shanwu Turbo.
AKA Virtual World.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's see the deck list, man.
So, this is the unsurprising part. Everyone already knows this. Your 25 absolute engine requirements.
Yep.
3 Lulu, 3 Lao Lao. I love, this is the only playable name I ever draw. 3 Gigi, 3 Lili, and 2 Nyan.
Okay.
Tao Tao is terrible, so I don't play it. That's about it. I feel like everyone in every deck profile always says, oh, you know, 2 Nyan and explains it. There's nothing to explain. Everyone plays this.
Yeah.
I'm
Fair enough.
So the only thing, oh yeah, and also low rarity because my high rarity one's brick harder. The only monster that might be a surprise is I am playing the 1 Tai. That's it. I'm playing 1 Tai. And I will explain that when I get to the spells.
Okay.
But just the 1 Tai. This card, I only drew it once today. It is a brick if you draw it on its own. Technically, you could do it late combo and then like normal summon it, banish a worm out of grave, and you know it's a free level 9.
Gotcha.
But we'll talk about that more once I get to the spells.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was the standard VW plus the 1 Tai. The Sword Soul package I'm playing is very small. I think extra deck space, I like the utility that I currently have. Sometimes you just want to make a free Shen off your normal summon though, so you can use a dead name in hand like a high level and keep playing.
Okay.
So very small Sword Soul engine.
Gotcha.
Then I was playing the best card. The best card of the entire day, maybe except for another card that I'll mention in a second. 3 Lancia. I will be the first to admit I am hard carried by this card.
Oh my god.
You guys will see in the feature matches, I did not play as well as I'd like. It was kind of a tired day. So I did not play as well as I like, but that's fine because I drew Lancia and just hard carried me all the way through both features today. This card is insane. You have very limited space for going second cards in this deck, so you want to choose the ones that are really like optimal for stopping.
Really high impact.
Exactly. You want this deck loses to like big combo decks. No one's playing Drytron at locals right now. It's all Bird Up, Dragon a little bit. Even stuff like Shaddoll Invoked, this card beats that. It just beats basically everything.
It's also good against the 10 Sword Soul deck too.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was trying to think of all the different ones. But basically, if VW loses to it, this card beats it.
Yeah.
With the exception of Drytron, obviously. But again, no one plays that here.
Yeah.
So I was playing the 3 Lancia. And then the spells, you got your obligatory, insane. But this card bricks really, really hard. I was thinking of cutting it down to 2, but no.
No, just never.
And then the 2 Italy, this card is also a quasi-brick. Almost everything in this deck is a brick half the time and good the other half. So yes, this was good. I like it at 2. It helps you push through like Featherstorm, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, just making Zeus and then just, you know, extending. For the rest of the Sword Soul package, this is the only Sword Soul package I played. I did play the 3 Emergence. This card is probably the best card in the deck.
Really?
Yeah, it was. So the VW cards would be the best cards, except I don't draw any of them because I just draw Shanwu.
My man has the worst luck.
So if you activate this, you just search Tai, normal to Tai effect banish, and then you generate the token, and then this effect when it's banished increase the Tai, so it's a free normal summon Shen. That gives you repeatability, and also the Tai effect engrave, which I do know. Last week I didn't even know that. The Tai can also send a name, so if you open like a Laulo, for example, you can send a Lili. What I did against my Prankids opponent was I sent Lili, summon Laulo, summon back Lili, M7 head back to Lili, and then you could just keep playing from there, right?
Very strong.
So the advantage just starts snowballing.
Okay.
I think it's the perfect Sword Soul ratio. If you play too many, again, you'll just start to brick.
Yeah.
Like the more names you play, like I don't think Long Wand is necessary. It doesn't put a VW name on board, so you can't keep playing your actual deck.
Okay.
So this was perfect. It was incredibly strong. Gives you free Shen because you're sending an Earthworm. Oh wait, no, it's not a free Shen. You're right. It's a free Shen, but not a free Shen summoned back. But that's fine. It was incredible all day. And then for the spells, you play 3 Desires, or for the rest of the accompanying spells, you play 3 Desires. I really like this card. I always draw a Desires off of it, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
The banishes today weren't nearly as bad as they were the other day. It's so strong and the deck needs the consistency. You want to see it at 3.
Yep.
I used to play Prosperity in this deck, but I don't own that card anymore. So
You used to play 6 pots, didn't you?
I used to play 3 Prosperity, 3 Desires, because what you could do is firstly, the deck bricks. Prosperity's insane because it's an insane going second card too. It searches your side pieces. and then if you draw multiple pots, you can just activate Desires first. If they ash it, you just activate Prosperity.
Okay.
So the times that it was like bad, it wasn't that bad. Because if you're resolving a pot, you can usually win the game from there, especially if that pot is Prosperity. But I don't own that card anymore. I sold it. So instead, I'm playing 2 talents. I'm strongly considering bumping this card up to 3. This card was insanely ignorant all day. Literally just crippling my opponents if they tried to hand trap me at all.
Yeah.
And people were throwing like Veilers at me too, and that card is, I think it happened twice on feature. The card is just not strong enough to stop the VWN board, and then you just get to rip their hand.
Yeah.
Or again, I think I got Veilered against, Veilered against Pranked, and then I drew 2 into the Desire, so it was literally just draw 4.
Draw 2 and a draw 2. You love to see it.
I'm considering bumping this up. Going first, it's okay. Going second is insane. Going first, it's okay, but it can be dead sometimes. And again, I only have room for 8 going second cards, which is really unfortunate. So I wanted to make them as good as I could.
Understandable.
Yeah, Taxes was insane. Loved it. Fantastic.
Gotta love it.
The obligatory. So you play 2 of these and then 3 of this.
3 of this.
So basically, with my luck, remember that night we were testing? And I opened 15 hands, playing 15 games, and drew this 10 of them.
Yep, I
Yes.
remember.
So
I was there,
point,
folks.
At this point, I might as well play 3 of it because I think I'd see it less. But yeah, these are pretty self-explanatory. You need one of these in deck to combo, but you don't want to draw, so you need 1 extra Chuche.
Okay.
And then finally, the last 3 hand traps, I played the last traps. 3 Imperm. So again, I don't think this deck can really support droplets. If it did, I would be. I also think against something like the Bird Up deck, this is like I would rather play hand traps because the Bird Up deck is probably the best deck right now. And this is just, if the Bird Up deck makes the F0 and then they normal summon the Tri Brigade, you can just hit them with the Imperm after they banish for the Tri Brigade effect, and that usually hurts them pretty bad. So I think Imperm's a really good hand trap right now. Helps with beating Scythe too, depending on how it's set up.
Yep.
That's getting less and less popular. But yeah,
Thankfully.
thank goodness. My 8 go second cards were 3 of this, 3 Lancia, and 3 or the 2 talents.
2 talents, gotcha. All right, 40 cards in the main deck?
Yes, sir. If you play it anymore, you are a braver man than I.
All right, let's see the extra deck.
So you play the standard 3 6s. So we got Charge, Coral, and Juju. I did cut this for a while. Shout out to Adam for forcing me to put it back in. This card is nuts. It allows you to play with suboptimal hands and also to push really hard going second. Plus, my opponent simply refused to read it. So we'll try to pop it with the attributes engraved, like on summon, and then I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fine.
That I accept. Then you're playing the 1 Sulkin, 1 Crystal Wing. This is the only, because these are the only 6s you're playing. I'm not playing the Mud Dragon package into anything because everyone right now is playing like Chalice, Imperm, Dark Ruler. And summoning Caliga is just kind of a big if true move. It often cuts off follow-up because you can't make Shenshin half the time. It's just not good, this format. This is plenty. You can do this. You can do some funny stuff if you're playing Edge Control and use this because it's a 12 and then boost Shenshin to end on a Zeus turn 1.
Oh, yeah.
Control can't break that. Crystal Wing Zeus, they can't break that.
Very, very strong.
Then the 9s you play, or the Obligatory Vermilion. This card is insane. You just Lulu Lili, and you can break any threat on the board. And then if they try and like punishment or otherwise pop it, you just get to add back the Lulu. I do play the 1 Croc. I love draw power in this deck. It also kind of boosts your end board because without the Mud Dragon into Caliga or Dragoon, my ceiling's a little bit lower. But this card's insane for consistency, and it's insane with one other card that I play here as well. And of course, best girl, Shenshin. Hysterical macro on legs, summons itself back every turn. Some might even say better than Winda. I disagree.
Yeah, no, I would disagree with that.
I would quite strongly disagree, but the opinion has been registered.
Yes.
So now for the Xyz, those are all the synchros. I'm only playing 1 rank 3. I think this deck does rank 6s a lot better than it does rank 3s. I wanted the biggest one that also has the most utility. Plus droplets is really prevalent now, more so than like other things that target. So I didn't think stuff like Gossip because it's really small. I just thought that this, or like, Fortune Tune, I just thought this was the best one.
Okay.
Downward I haven't made in a minute, but sometimes, especially in simplified game states against stuff like Dragoon, you can just go this over the Anaconda and then do a double send Zeus really easily. So I like this. This you can also make after you Fan as long as you have Chuche engraved, decrease the Fan's rank, and then go this Zeus.
That's really kind of spicy.
It's a fun one.
It's a fun one, yes.
So you're playing this card, absolutely insane. You can use it to add back. This deck is literally a modern salad. I used it on one of my features to add back my Lancia that I hit him with last turn.
Crazy.
This card just destroys boards, and if they try and challenge it, you get to float into a free Shen. It's completely absurd. And then this card, a lot of people aren't playing this card. This card makes OTKs extremely easy. This deck deals with Phoenix Enforcer really well because of these two cards. You can use this to bounce it out of grave, or this to just banish it from grave. And if they DPE pop this, again, it's a free Shen.
Yep.
And then this card just deals with Dragoon really well, and you can use it to just out problematic game states and OTK through almost anything.
Gotcha.
So the last card, or not, the second to last card is the Obligatory Zeus. This card probably should never have been printed.
I would fully
so
agree with that.
It's so stupid.
I absolutely hate that card.
It's so dumb. Like, it should not, it just shouldn't, just don't bother printing that.
Once,
what are you
not
doing?
once per turn, not once per chain.
Not once per chain. If it exceeds battled anywhere.
Yeah, just for free.
And then this is the one that I think might require some explanation. I love this card. I was summoning this all day today. Basically, if you're going second, you have nothing really to make out of your, what's it called, Vermilion, if it sticks. So the amount of destruction you can get by just going Vermilion, pop, Croc, draw, overlay, non-targeting banish, attack, because it's huge, it's 29, and then Zeus.
Yeah.
Or like even a boosted VW, anything you want. I made this card so many times today. People aren't running this in this deck. I just think it makes going second free.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so strong.
Very,
the
very
fact that you can
good.
even banish like DPE from grave or something from hand to prevent
Or the
follow-up.
top card of their deck.
Yeah, it's the most relevant effect.
Yes.
I know you stacked that there. Get it out of here. But yeah, so that was the extra deck. I honestly wouldn't change a thing. I never summoned Downward really anymore, so maybe that, but I don't think anything needs to be changed. I'm not missing anything.
All right, let's see that side deck.
So finally, the side. We are siding 3 Nibiru. A lot of lists main this, but this card isn't great into a lot of matchups, especially at like locals. There was a lot of Flunder here. There was a lot of Sword Soul, and Sword Soul can box this card out pretty well. So I think it was better on the side. 3 Droll. It's not great right now, but I do have the space for it. So I just wanted to go ahead and put this in. It stops a lot of things. Like I said, it's locals, so it stops a lot of rogue stuff. Meta, it also hurts Dragon pretty bad. It hurts the Mirror pretty bad, but this deck is a meta.
Yeah.
It just stops a lot of stuff. We have the 3 Dark Ruler no more. Again, kind of self-explanatory, just big board, die, right? Just, this deck basically kind of becomes Zeus Turbo going second. So this card, a lot of decks can't support this card, but this deck has so much spot removal that you can just destroy their board.
Gotcha.
3 Cosmic. The reason why this is here is because this deck does pretty well against back row in general, and this deals with Scythe. Because you almost always know where the Scythe is set, so you can just chain the Cosmic to the DPE or whatever cringe effect they use to try and activate turn, skip Zoardo, and it's just, banish it. It's also, it is good into specific matchups too. But yeah, I think this was fine. I did this over evenly because if you're going into a combo deck, I think Lancia, this, Nib, and Droll, you have it covered.
Yeah.
And again, this deck can just beat control for free. Like Mystic Mind, don't care, didn't ask, right? Because Chuche.
Yep, absolutely.
And then the last 3 cards, the hysterical ones.
My goodness, this card's pretty fun.
I never sided this in today. It's been mediocre when it's come up. Like it's
Been a little cringe.
It's fine. Basically, the idea is that if they Scythe you, especially the PK deck, firstly beats Bird up almost for free.
Yep.
If you catch them with a Wing Beast on board, it's just curtains because they can't Omen.
Yep.
And then against the PK deck, basically I'm trying to turn skip them back. So I'll unironically side this in going second because they'll try to I'll try and push. They'll try and use stuff to stop it, and then they still have a Rusty on board, so their Phoenix can't come back, their DPE. So it's like a turn skip back at you, right? It's kind of weird. I haven't tested it enough, but I had the extra spot and figured I wanted something for going first. Normally, a lot of people when they side into this deck aren't siding enough spell and trap hate because they're like, oh, they put up this board, it's just one Chuche, right? So I was kind of trying to capitalize off of that.
Gotcha. All right. Well, what were your matchups?
So my matchups today were round 1 feature was Bird Up. I activated Lancia. Then I M7 added back Lancia.
Crazy,
And
bro.
then game 2 I Lancia'd.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm carried.
Yeah.
Misplayed there a little bit, but I was kind of sleepy kind of day for dueling. So round 2 was Prankids, I believe. Good friend of mine. Shout outs to Jovu. So game 1 against him, he had the audacity to try and Valor me, so I drew 4 cards.
You Valored me, now I will draw
I
4.
drew 4 cards off Talents into Desires, and then ended Shen Chuche Pass, and that's just enough against that deck if they don't have like
Crazy.
a big, hand rip.
Uh-huh.
And then regrettably, he pulled a Virtual World game 2 and bricked. He drolled me and had the audacity to interact with me, so I Talents ripped the Ash out of his hand, and then Taie Lao full combo.
My God.
There just wasn't enough to stop it because I ripped, Ash out of his hand.
Yep.
And then round 3 was
B
B
Trooper?
Trooper. Shout
Yep.
out to my boy Gene. He was repping that deck. So I think I won. No, I lost die roll there, but the deck just doesn't put up enough to deal with Virtual World if they open playable, because it's usually a monster negate, fly instinct, and then just a monster negate on field. It just wasn't enough. So I was able to push through and establish a good. And Shen just kind of beats that deck by itself, really. And then, game 2, I opened double Lancia, Desires, Kowloon Chuche, and then Desires into Kowloon Lancia.
Oh my
So
God.
I scooped instantly as time was approaching.
Nice.
And then game 3, I think I made him go first. There was some scuffling, and then I just ended up. He tried to negate my Crystal Wing, so I changed Shanwu and then changed Chuche to destroy my own Crystal Wing, so his nib was negated, and then I just pushed for enough in time.
Saucy little play there.
And then finally, round 4 was against Dragons. I activated Lancia, and then I activated Lancia. And then after that, I activated Lancia. You guys will see that on the feature. I am
Yep.
simply carried. I misplayed during
Up
that
here in the
too.
top right for you guys if you want to see it.
It's a good match. I misplayed a little bit, and my opponent didn't activate it.
How do you feel about Lancia, Phil?
What do you mean it was a good match? I barely activated a card.
Oh my goodness.
Listen, he normal summoned Safer.
He had the
and said-
audacity to normal summon Safer.
And then he had the audacity to try and search off it, so I lancied him, and then he passed on Striker Dragon, and then funny things happened. And then, I got Valored game 1 by him, so I just Talents ripped his hand, and then I knew he couldn't play through one Shen.
You need to take those talents away from you, John.
They were absurd all day.
It's worse knowing that there's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
I do need to bump that card to 3, I think. I do need to bump that card to 3, I think. It was just so good. It's just kind of mids going first if they don't choose to Valor you, but don't Valor me. Don't Valor this deck. Just don't do it.
All right. Well,
But that's it. Thank you so much, Winner, for the deck profile.
no problem. My pleasure, man.
Now I'm finally not playing this deck anymore. I'm
Yes,
going-
this is the final farewell.
Yes.
Thank you for the profile. Congrats on going forward and snagging first place and
Yes,
absolutely
sir.
bodying everybody you played.
Lancia, baby!
Yes, sir. Best VW card in the deck. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up at the bottom of the screen right now, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And last but not least, a special thanks goes to our Divine Level channel members in there, Cadillacs84, Pony Stark, Keith Sitters, Tweeter0226, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much as always for your extremely generous support.